up there he retired from his teaching job, and he moved to Seattle. But he is occasionally at the jazz festivals. You know, I don't know, how close have you seen him recently to this area?
I saw him in Monterey last month. I'm going to see, he's doing a circuit tour. He's going to be down in the North Bay in July.
Okay, so he'll be at Baroni's, and yeah, he usually, when he's in town, he plays at Baroni's, and they put a little grouping of gigs together for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's a interesting man. Yeah, you want to go back down to Los Angeles for a minute? Well, maybe we can talk about another piano player, Art Tatum.
Yeah. Very good friend. And I got him a job at what was in Hollywood area called 1018 Club.
The 1018.
And because I got to know the boss guy there. So he had a nephew from their hometown in Ohio or somewhere, who was like maybe 18 or 19 years old, living with him in the district. And one day he called and told me that Tatum called and said he's got to go back to his hometown for Christmas and New Year's. And he said, "Can you get another guy to pick me up and bring me here to where I'm working?" And I thought about it. I said, "Yeah, I'll do it." So I'd pick him up in the colored district in a nice apartment he had with, what's her name, Maggie or Margie, his wife. And I'd take him to the 1018 Club. And I had a day job, and so I'd stay with him until about 1 a.m., take him back to his apartment, get about 5 hours sleep. It was great.
Was it worth it?
Yeah, it sure was.
There were two other of Tatum's contemporaries and masters who also ended up on the West Coast at some point. One of them was Fats Waller. One of them was James P. Johnson. Did you ever see either of those heroes?
Anytime I'd hear them going to play anywhere in L.A., I'd be there for hearing them.
I think James P. was he played at Hambone Kelly's.
That sounds right, yeah.
With the Lou Waters Band. I mean, he was in town, and I think I've read that he was in town, and of course they knew he was in town, and they grabbed him, and he ended up playing up at with Turk, not in Turk's band, but as a featured pianist. I'm sure you probably recall that, but not many details on it. It was probably a rare thing to have happen.
Yeah, it would be.
But James P. I don't know how long he visited on the West Coast. I can't recall that it was a long time.
Not long. He was out here for a bit in 1949.
49?
There was a show that he was involved in called Sugar Hill, I think.
And that might have been the same time period then.
Probably was.
It sounds like about the time the Hambone Kelly's was in operation until New Year's Eve of 1950.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably when he was asked to be part of it. Probably had a good time with those guys, because I know that they would respect him tremendously.
Yeah, for sure.
Now Waller, I'm not sure, did he make it up to San Francisco? I knew he went to Los Angeles, and I knew that he was on a.
I don't think. Well, I was there anyway, but a lot of those guys would be able to get up. Somebody would drive him up in the car. That was the way to go. No train trips.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I know Walter was in Oakland because, as you remember, Jimmy Stanislaus, who was the fireman and vocalist with Turk's band in those latter days. You know, when Pat Yankee wasn't around, Jimmy Stanislaus was doing the Yama Yama Man and a few other things with Turk. Anyway, in his younger days, he said he was assigned when Waller was in town to be the guy that provided the gin, and he said he could never quite understand how a man could still play as much piano as he played without really showing any kind of problems and put away as much gin as he did. But I guess you told me that when you were with TATUM that there was a recording session going on at Decca, and it appeared that you had something to do with the beer, providing the beer and keeping it for TATUM. Do you remember anything more about that?
No, that part comes back. Yeah.
And you were concerned about Art possibly not being able to play well during the recording session because he may have had too much beer to drink?
No, I would doubt that. At that place called the 1018 Club, that
Yeah.
he was working as a solo guy, and his nephew was bringing him.
Yeah, you took his nephew's place for a short time while his nephew went back for holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a friend of mine, Mary Francis, who had running a record department at the May Company, and I found out after I got to know her that she was a woman with perfect pitch. And she was not a musician, but so I took her to hear TATUM once, and I introduced, and she was very, very cooperative with any colored person immediately, and he figured that out about seconds. And I said, TATUM, this woman has got perfect pitch, and which I think you also have. He said, oh, really? So this is a semi-intermission. He was at the piano. I said, play some notes. And he did like 4 or 6 notes, and she called them out. What they were, C flat, B flat. He said, I can't believe that. I'm the only one I knew could do that. And he said, he's not knowing about Rebecca, where do you play? She said, I don't play. I just run a record company, a May Company. And Rebecca couldn't believe it. History